This is JRAM.
And this is Billy.
And this is another edition of the JRAM and Billy Show.
And welcome everybody back to New Year 2020. We took kind of like an unannounced hiatus this past month. Mm-hmm. We did our last episode about Santa Claus, and we were going to do something for Christmas, but just...
Billy didn't want to, and I understand.
Well, it was just kind of like, I'd like to take at least a couple weeks off of doing this.
I mean, that's
like,
fair.
Not that it was bad or anything, but, you know, it was kind of nice. Just chilling.
It was
instead
nice
of
to
having
just
to
hang
work.
out with you instead of having to work.
Yeah. So we hope that you guys enjoy this episode. We're doing something a little different. It's just a typical JRAM and Billy Show-esque type thing. We're going to be doing a morality quiz. Actually, I think we're going to do a couple of them just to have a more well-rounded, you know,
maybe
scientific result. No, these are not scientific at all, but
we'll finally learn which one of us is the most fucked up one. That's what I'm looking forward to today.
Oh, God. All right, so do you want to just jump right into it?
Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
All right. Also, before we get started, I do want to say, if you haven't already, check out our Facebook page. It's at JRAM and Billy Pod. And if you check the description of the podcast, you can also check out our YouTube channel, where we've got some fun little Let's Plays and that sort of stuff on there. But without further ado, we're on philosophyexperiments.com/moralityplay. It says, in this activity, you will be presented with 19 different moral scenarios, James. In each case, you will be asked to make a judgment about what is the morally right thing to do.
Ryan.
When you have answered all the questions, you will be presented with an analysis of your responses that should reveal some interesting things about your moral framework and how it compares to others who have completed the activity.
I'll do very well.
A long time ago, we did one, I think it might have been on this same website for this psychopathy, however the fuck you say it. I think in America you can say it either way.
I don't know. Did we do a psychopath test?
Yes, me and you did a psychopath test. And
did we record it?
No, we didn't record it. It was like years ago.
Because we were scared. We didn't want them to know what.
Apparently, I think I was like 77% a psychopath or something, but...
Interesting. Very interesting.
I do want to throw out a little disclaimer, though. These are not scientific in the least bit.
So please don't start judging us by whatever responses we get.
I know. But I'm going to try and make good judgments on this.
I'm going to be honest.
You're going to be honest?
I'm going to be 100% honest.
All right, James, let's start.
Question 1. You pass someone in the street who is in severe need, and you are able to help them at little cost to yourself. Are you morally obligated to do so?
It says strongly obliged, weakly obliged, or not obliged.
I'm not going to tell you what I pick. I'm not going to look at the screen, so I'm not going to see what you pick.
Yeah.
We'll just say what we picked afterwards, because I'm sure there'll be a way for us to remember.
Well, we'll just say it after we submit it.
Okay.
All right.
Got your choice?
Yep.
Submit.
Yeah, strongly obliged.
Strongly obliged, yeah.
It makes sense, especially with the whole little to no cost to you.
Well, that part's not that important to me, but...
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it costs you little time or money to help somebody who's in severe need, then
like, you know, you don't, if they're guaranteeing you like this person's not a psychopath gonna stab you because you gave him a ride in your car.
Well, I don't even think I need that sort of reassurance. It's just,
oh, if I'm gonna help someone, I need to know I'm not gonna be like murdered.
Well, how would you do that? Like, what would you do? Give them one of these tests? Answer these 19 questions, and after I'm done, then I might get you some McDonald's.
No, if it's something like that, I just throw money at him and drive off. No, I almost said something pretty bad there. Never mind.
Here, take my money. Don't rob me. All right. Question 2 of 19. You have a brother. You know that someone has been seriously injured as a result of criminal activity undertaken by him. You live in a country where the police and legal system are generally trustworthy. Are you morally obliged to inform them about your brother's crime? This is kind of like one of those I ain't no snitch kind of thing, you know?
Maybe.
Is it the rules of the street?
Make your decision.
It says strongly obliged, weakly obliged, not obliged. I'm just going to assume those are probably the answers to all the questions. So
no, they're not, because I already made my decision.
Let's see. I said weakly obliged.
So did I.
Really?
Well, because the way I put it in my head is maybe this person that got hurt
Yeah.
wronged your brother.
Maybe
in
they
some
deserved
way.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
honestly.
what did he do?
Exactly. As Bill Burr would say.
No, Dave Chappelle.
Well, Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle would say, what did they do? Maybe the person that got hurt was somebody who like tried to mug them, tried to, wronged them in some horrible way in the past. I mean, if it's an innocent bystander that gets hurt, then you're kind of obligated to say something.
Yeah.
But if it's a foe, if it's your enemy, then it's rules of the street, bro. Stitches come to snitches.
You mean snitches get stitches?
Whatever.
All right. Question 3. Go ahead, James.
Do you think that assisting the suicide of someone who wants to die and has requested help is morally equivalent to allowing them to die by withholding medical assistance, assuming that the level of suffering turns out to be identical in both cases? Yes or no?
See, this is a rough one because we did a podcast kind of about
euthanasia,
this.
yeah.
And you already know how I feel about euthanasia. Like, if I have that option, if I know that I'm going to die, some sort of,
But we're not talking about that.
Well, a golden rule, treat them as you'd like to be treated. So, no, I don't think it's equivalent to allowing them to die by withholding medical assistance. Because if the amount of suffering is the same, well, hold on. Assuming that the level of suffering turns out to be identical in both cases, then morally there's no difference. The only difference is prolonging. So I guess I would say no. I would
one
still
is
say
an
no.
active approach and one is an inactive approach in a way.
Yeah.
One, you're assisting someone like you're holding the pillowcase over their head. The other one is you're just not giving them medicine.
Yeah, I would. If my bro was asking me to put the pillow over his head, I would do it.
I'd be asking you to pull the trigger. I think I'd want a for sure quicker way. Take me outside. Tell me about the wonderful place we're going on vacation. And then mice amend me, man. Just
it's pillow or nothing, James. I'm not going to murder you in any other way. Is it pillow or not?
You know what? Pillow. Just because I want you to feel the rattle of my body as you try to strangle me and I fight for my life.
All right, question 4.
So, yes, I put yes for that one.
You really?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's where we differ there. No, that you said it was...
It's morally the same. It's equivalent in my mind.
Oh, okay.
It's the same exact thing.
So, okay,
if the level of suffering is the same, and it's just a matter of, you assist them with the suicide, or you withhold medicine, help them out. If they want to go, it's time to go.
Maybe I misunderstood the question.
Maybe, but keep reading.
Or maybe it's going to misunderstand my answer. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to see what our results are.
So question 4, you were able to help some people, but unfortunately you can only do so by harming other people. The number of people harmed...
That sounds like you're involved in government, like you're some kind of government leader.
It's like, well, we can feed these kids here, but we're going to have to cut the funding on this particular education or something.
Or we're going to have to cut the funding for helping the homeless.
Yeah. It does sound very political. Okay, so you're able to help some people, but unfortunately you can only do so by harming other people. The number of people harmed will always be 10% of those helped. When considering whether it's morally justified to help, does the actual number of people involved make any difference? For example, does it make a difference if you're helping 10 people by harming one person rather than helping 100,000 people by harming 10,000 people? Is there a difference in numbers?
Immediately I have my answer.
I
don't want to talk about it until click your answer and then 1, 2, 3, submit. What'd you pick?
No.
Yes.
Because proportionally it's going to be the same amount of harm.
Yeah, but the numbers matter to me, man.
Really?
I can't.
That's very un-Spockian of you. You know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. 10,000
isn't really a few, though.
Well, it is in comparison to 100,000 people.
Yeah, but 10,000 people, I don't want to hurt. I can barely justify hurting one person.
Yeah.
Except by going, well, I'm hurting this one person, but 10 people are going okay.
Yeah.
Once I get to I have to hurt 10,000 people.
I guess I take more of a utilitarian approach to morality. In utilitarianism, it's does the net happiness increase by this action? If it does, even if it takes away from someone else's happiness, if the net total amount of happiness achieved
in the world
increased, then it was it wasn't a bad option. I'm not going to say I'm not going to give it that morally it's a good thing, but it's not bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. The numbers matter to me.
All right.
Question 5. You own an unoccupied property. You are contacted by a refugee group which desperately needs somewhere to house a person seeking asylum who is being unjustly persecuted in a foreign country. Your anonymity is assured. You have every reason to believe that no harm will come to your property. Are you morally obligated to allow them to use your property? Strongly agree, weakly obliged, not obliged.
All right. What'd you choose?
Not obliged.
Yeah, I put strongly obliged. Just because
Look,
it's because of the assuming that you have every reason to believe that no harm will come to you or your family by doing so. Like, as long as you're...
I get it that there are people out there who need help.
Well,
But we have such a homeless problem in our own country. I know this doesn't sound good, but we've got to take care of what we have at home first. We need to stop worrying about these other countries and say, sorry, but we really need to take care of the people we have here.
Yeah, but the thing is that even when people say that, they still don't do anything to help the people here.
But no, in this situation, if I have that property, I'm helping a homeless person here. I'm not going to give it to some refugee from some other country. Too bad. I'm going to help someone who's actually here.
I mean, I don't think the fact that they're a foreigner makes any real difference in the moral judgment of it. I think that, okay, this is something that I was reading. It was like on a Reddit post or something. It was like, what's the difference that you've seen going into like a middle class lifestyle versus like living in poverty? And a lot of people said it's like something that you lose when you get more money is the sense of community with other people, because like old Joe down the road isn't going to fix your engine for, a few meals or something, or like, once you start getting money and that sort of stuff, it's like, no, I'm not going to help you out just for like other things. It's like, you stop
bartering and you start doing money for services.
Well, yeah, not only that, but just the sense of community in the poor community is just like they look out for each other because they know, hey, I might need his help. Like old Joe might need my help. That's why he's willing to do it for little to no money and maybe some other form of payment from me, because he knows I might need that kindness as well. And so I kind of look at it like, if I was in a war-torn country or something like that, like I would really hope that there's somebody out there, in this country that I'm fleeing to that will help me.
There's you.
Somebody like me versus somebody like you.
Yeah, who would rather help out a homeless veteran or
which I'm not saying that yours.
Here.
Yeah, I'm not saying that your option is less moral or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of the time. Yeah, I just think a lot of the time it's like, oh, well, we need to help people here instead. And then a lot of people are like, well, we're cutting like funding to a lot of these things.
I know, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's
like, I think we really need to stop focusing on helping
used
other
as
people
a
and helping other countries and start focusing on our own.
Yeah, it's a political football, just like disabled veterans. Every election cycle, disabled veterans are a political football. Nobody ever tries to help them on either side.
That's true.
They just use it as when I get like Elizabeth Warren, she tweeted something like she has a plan for when she goes into her presidency to help reduce the number of veteran suicides. And it's like, so you're withholding this information until you become president? What?
Yeah,
what?
I know.
Like, I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me.
I think we need
That was a big gaffe by
I don't think we need a huge return to it, but I look at our history and I look at pre-World War I, pre-World War II, of how much more closed off we were.
Yeah.
How much of an America first attitude we have. And I think
we also had a fuck ton of immigrants back then, man. Like Ellis Island was like thousands of people were coming through it every day.
I think we need to return to that just a little bit more, of where we're like, you know what, world, you figure out your stuff. We've got to start working on ourselves.
Yeah. All right. Question 6. Mm-hmm. A charity collection takes place in your office. For every $10 given, a blind person's sight is restored. Instead of donating those $10, you use the money to treat yourself to a cocktail after work. Are you morally responsible for the continued blindness of the person who would have been treated had you made the donation? That's a tough question.
The answers are responsible, not responsible, partly responsible.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
No, it's not. I've got my answer.
Yeah.
No, it's very clear cut.
Yeah, I said not responsible.
Responsible.
Really?
Dude, they come to you, doctors come to you, and they prove to you that for $10, you can cure blindness.
For one person with your $10 donation.
Yeah,
But
and
you
instead of
going
doing
and-
that, you go and have a drink. You don't fucking need that drink. Fucking let the poor person see their kids or their family for the first time in their lives.
I mean-
it's on you for that person still being blind.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
No, it's on you.
Yeah, I guess so.
In that scenario, it's like, this person is blind because you would rather selfishly keep that $10.
It's the difference between being presented with the opportunity and not, I think. Because it's like, if you weren't presented with that opportunity, you still were going to spend $10 on a cocktail after work. Those $10 still wouldn't have went to that blind person. But just because you're presented with the opportunity, now all of a sudden you have a moral decision to make. And your omission of giving that donation, in your opinion, means that you directly kept someone blind.
Yeah, man. If you are presented with that opportunity and you choose not to do it, you are keeping somebody blind.
I think a lot of people think, also like me, is like, well, other coworkers might pick up my slack, or they aren't
what
just.
a great attitude to have. Let somebody else chip in $10. I don't give a shit.
It's the American way.
That is
joking.
not the American
Oh
way.
my God. I don't know. I just don't think that you're directly responsible for keeping somebody blind.
You are if they come to you and say, give us $10 and this person gets a fresh pair of eyes, then you are directly responsible.
I don't think they get fresh eyes, but okay. Sure. Go ahead.
With those eyes, they can see your true colors shining. Just saying, you're denying people.
All right.
the
Question
gift of
7,
sight.
James. Keep her going.
Someone you have never met needs a kidney transplant. You are one of the few people who can provide the kidney. Would any moral obligation to provide the kidney be greater if this person were a cousin rather than a non-relative?
Okay, so this is assuming you're gonna give the kidney, but like, if he was your cousin, would it be more valuable for you to give him your kidney versus a stranger?
See, I'm reading it as would you feel more moral obligation to give a family member your kidney
Same difference.
than a stranger?
Yeah.
And that answer is easy.
Okay, I think something's missing from this question, though.
What?
Is my cousin needing a kidney as well? Like, do I have a choice
No.
between...
What it's asking is, would you feel more of a moral obligation to give up your kidney to your cousin over a perfect stranger? It's like you said, you're going to give up this kidney. If you had a choice, cousin or person you've never met and don't know.
Well, see, I don't think it's
which
asking it
presents
like...
more of a moral obligation.
Yeah. I'd say no.
I said yes. If it's a family, having it go
because
from
in
being
my opinion, like family...
having it go from being an unknown person to a family member, having it be a family member does put more of a moral obligation on it. Because then guess what happens? You don't give Uncle Johnny the kidney. Uncle Johnny dies.
No.
And then every year at Christmas, you get a letter from Aunt Sally going, well, thanks for not giving Uncle Johnny your kidney, and now he's dead. I'm having to raise 3 kids on my own.
Well, my way of thinking is the way the question was asked, it sounded like you're going to give up this kidney regardless of who it is. It's just, how would you feel after the fact if it was your cousin versus just a stranger? I don't think I would feel any better about myself. I still increased.
I would just feel
still
more of a
gave
moral
someone
obligation
a lot.
to
Well, yeah, if you knew
a family member.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was trying to say is, would you feel more of an obligation if it was a family member or if it was a stranger?
Yeah.
And I would feel more obligation if it was a family member.
I mean, I can see how you'd
I'd
be
give
more
you a kidney,
socially
bro.
ostracized from your family if you didn't. I mean, like, I understand there's more social pressure to it, but morally speaking, like, just being moral, just human to human, I don't think it makes any difference regardless if it's a family member or not. That's my line of thinking.
I'd rather give you a kidney than some random stranger.
Well, yeah, I hope, but
I'd want you to keep living before I care if some person I've never met keeps living.
Yeah. All right. Question 8. You can save the lives of 1,000 patients by canceling 100 operations that would have saved the lives of 100 different patients. Are you morally obliged to do so?
You can save the lives of 1,000 patients
Yeah, but the 100 patients already had their surgeries booked.
by canceling 100 operations that would have saved the lives of 100 different patients. Well, this goes back to that you saved
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the
by
few.
hurting 10 kind of thing.
Okay, I think this relies a bit on like context. Like, okay, let's say I have 100 operations that are booked, and these people's lives are going to be saved by these operations, but then a natural disaster happens or something. And there's like...
No, I think it's...
That's what I'm thinking is like there's a large influx of patients.
I've got 100 people lined up for a surgery. If I don't do it, for whatever reason, 1,000 people are going to live. Or 1,000 people are going to be saved. But 100 are going to die.
Well, if I take it the way that you say it, then I'm definitely going with a yes. I think that you should let the 100 people...
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh, well. I hit no, but I meant yes.
Can you go back?
I don't want to take a chance and have to redo this quiz.
All right. Question 9.
Are your moral obligations to people in your own country or community... See, this is a question we needed earlier. Are your moral obligations to people in your own country or community stronger than those to people in other countries and communities, assuming no unusual circumstances? For example, suffering because of famine in either your own country, community, or other countries and communities. That one's easy for me.
So I'm thinking like moral obligations, what they mean is like your help, your aid to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing it's been asking. Like, are your moral obligations, do you feel more of a moral obligation to help people in your own country or community over those from foreign countries and other communities you have nothing to do with?
Now, I'm saying yes, but the only reason that I'm saying yes on this, and I was different about the whole like refugee issue, is I think a lot of this has to come with like proximity to you. So while you're more morally obligated to people who are closer like geographically to you, I think the only reason is because you expect other people in other geographic locations to take care of their own, just like you take care of your own.
I'm sorry. I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah.
This next question is bonkers. I want to read this, please.
Well, yeah, we're alternating, so.
I just read the last one, though.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I really want to read this one, please.
Okay, sure.
You deliberately sabotage a piece of machinery in your workplace so that when someone next uses it, there will be an accident which results in that person losing the use of their legs. Are you morally responsible for that injury?
Well, duh.
Responsible? Partly responsible, not responsible.
You're responsible.
If you click anything other than responsible, you are a straight up cold-blooded psychopath. That's the dumbest question I've ever heard. You fiddle with a machine on purpose.
I think they're doing
knowing that it's going to cause an accident that takes away somebody's legs.
I think that's a filtering question. Like it's something really easy.
That would be like Lieutenant Dan. That would be like if Forrest Gump is the reason that Lieutenant Dan lost his legs. That would alter their friendship quite a bit.
In his view, it was him because he wouldn't have lived if it wasn't for Forrest saving him from the forest in Vietnam. So
I never thought about it.
That's why he blamed Forrest.
But it all worked out. He got it. He got part of that shrimp bone company, made millions, got magic legs, and got married to a Vietnamese woman, which I thought was very progressive. Like someone who fought in Vietnam and then went and was able to quell those maybe, possible hatred or racist thoughts from what he went through, was able to be like, you know what? No, I love this person, disregarding where they're from.
Was she Vietnamese or was she just Asian? Because, I don't think they actually say. I've watched that movie a lot.
They don't say, but in my head, it's always been he met someone who's Vietnamese.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he went back to the country after the war to, see a different side of it. Maybe
he wanted... shrimp boat. I watched the movie. I didn't see him go back to Vietnam.
He was a millionaire.
Maybe.
So maybe he took a vacation and went back to see a different side of the country to heal.
I don't know.
Maybe that was part of his personal healing process we didn't get to see.
Yeah. All right, question 11. You know the identity of someone who has committed a serious crime resulting in a person being badly injured. Are you morally obliged to reveal their identity to an appropriate authority so that they are dealt with justly? Strongly obligated? Weakly obligated? Not obliged. I mean, this is like the same question as the first question, except this time you're not related.
Exact same question as the one about the legs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is regarding the guy who sabotaged the
equipment. Yeah, pretty sure I really have to go tell the cops. I saw Jim. He touched that machine, and then Gary lost his legs. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that's more than coincidence.
All right. Next question.
Okay, 12 out of 19. You can save the lives of 10 innocent people by killing one innocent person. Are you morally obligated to do so?
This is like the trolley problem. You know, where you've got a trolley that's on a track, and you can switch the lanes. Like it's
so it runs over a baby, or it runs over an old man?
Well, no, it's in line to hit 5 people who are on the tracks, unaware that there's a train heading towards them. But you can pull a lever, and it'll switch to another track where there's only one
get
person.
Out of the way.
But this is where this is the moral dilemma. You can be a passive onlooker and just see what was going to happen already, which is 5 people were going to die by this train. Or you can deliberately kill somebody to save 5 people. And a lot of people can't make that moral leap. I'm going to say yes, that I would kill that one person to save 10 people.
Are they really innocent? I mean, who's in a situation where if I kill you, 10 innocent people are going to be spared?
There's hypotheticals, James. They're not to be taken too literally, but...
I have to take it literally or I can't justify the murder of somebody. They're not really innocent.
Whatever. You see a charity advertisement in a newspaper about a person in severe need in India. There is no state welfare available to this person, but you can help them at little cost to yourself. You have a good reason to believe that any help you offer will make a difference. Are you morally obliged to help the person? We're going to get judged really bad on this one.
No, I just said not obliged.
I said weakly obliged.
No,
because
it's another country. Hey, guess what? You're in India, you got problems. Hey, India, take care of your problems.
I don't know. I just have a problem with this whole idea of like borders defying who we help and who we don't.
You know where they define who we help and who we don't? Because we're not doing it now.
Yeah, but
we're not taking care of all the poor people who are right here, right in front of us on a daily basis.
I understand that, James, but what I'm saying is like by helping other people in other countries prosper, you're also helping your own prosperity because by giving them more resources, they're able to contribute more to. I mean, we live in a global economy now. I mean, this is a globalist era. Like we live in a very integrated economy, but so by helping people that are like in Kenya or like India or whatever, like you're helping yourself in the long run because you're like those economies will get stronger with people who can actually
and ours won't
contribute. Well, yeah,
they're not going to help us.
But still, in the grand scheme of things, if you're talking about like averages or something, we're still a very wealthy country. Even though we have a ton of homeless people here and stuff, it's nothing like what's in those other places.
As I've been saying, we got to start helping the people who are already here.
Yeah.
Sorry, other countries.
All right, James.
You are required to send a person a gift, and you have bought a bottle of drink to send to them. However, you discover it is poison and if consumed will cause blindness to the drinker. To replace it with a non-contaminated bottle will cost you $10. You give the poison drink as a gift anyway. Are you morally responsible for the blindness of the drinker?
That one's pretty clear cut, in my opinion.
You're definitely not responsible. You're not responsible.
You're absolutely responsible.
Of course I fucking put responsible. Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of fucking... First of all, okay, let's first of all, bottle of drink. They don't go... I don't know what that is.
Okay, well, I know that like if you don't distill liquor properly, you can go blind from it.
Fine. So you're giving a moonshine.
Yeah.
If you find out that your bottle is contaminated, why aren't you... Again, with this $10 thing... Why aren't you spending $10 to get them a good bottle that's not going to, I don't know, cause them to go blind?
I wonder when the test was made. Was it when $10 was really, worth something?
Maybe.
Like, damn, that's like a really expensive trade-off. Or, now
I get a liter bottle of Skull Grape vodka for like $8.99.
No, like $10 is like the price of a fucking extra value meal at McDonald's now. It's ridiculous. Dude, when I used to work there, like, I've seen the prices like go way higher than what they were when I worked there.
But no, let's go back to this.
Yeah.
You are totally responsible. You sent it as a gift. What kind of a monster are you that you sent it as a gift anyway?
I'm going to get you some liquor for your birthday.
Yeah, and then I'm going to pour it down the sink. So I hope you don't spend too much money on it. Because now I'm not going to trust it.
All right. A situation arises where you can either save your own child from death or contact emergency services in order to save the lives of 10 other children. You cannot do both. and there's no way to save everybody. Which course of action are you morally obliged to follow?
Honestly? I have to answer this honestly?
I'm just wondering what kind of they need to like really explain the situation a little more.
No,
like just
I think
by
that's the point. It's supposed to be gut instinct. You're supposed to just go with whatever you go with.
Yeah, I'm going with save my own kid.
Me too. And it's for a very selfish reason.
It's your genes, man. It's your evolutionary
not even
ancestry.
That.
Like
if I save those kids, one, I'm going to be way too invested in their lives for the rest of their lives. I'm going to want to make sure that each and every single one of them is an upstanding, good member of society because I gave up my child for you. Two, I'd end up probably suicidal. I lost my child. Like I wouldn't be able to function as a human being. I'd need therapy and just the overall toll it would take on my mental well-being it'd be too much. I couldn't do it. I
think mine's just really like, this one's my kid. It's like my lineage.
Yeah, selfishness. I get it.
I mean, it is selfishness, but at the same time, like I feel like that moral question is really guided also by like evolutionary, like biology in a kind of way. Yeah.
Why on earth can't you call emergency services as you save your child? What is do you really need both arms to like scoop up a baby? Like, what's going on where you can't be like 911, I need help? You don't even have to touch your phone to call now. You can just be like, okay, whatever, because I don't want to activate our phones to do this. But you just say, whatever, okay, something, call 911. You don't even have to be on the phone while you're doing it. 16.
Did I read the last one?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
You can save the lives of 10 patients by canceling one operation.
These are getting very repetitive.
Yes, which would have saved the life of a different patient. Are you morally obliged to do so? You know why they do this? Why they're so similar?
I think it's just they're wanting to make sure that you're being consistent throughout the test. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's easy. Yes, is what I chose.
I chose no.
Really? You're being kind of inconsistent with these.
Dude, because every time I told you numbers matter to me. When it comes down to between like 1 and 1,000, that's a little bit different than like 10,000 and 100,000.
You own an unoccupied property. You were contacted by a welfare organization which desperately needs somewhere to house a person from a nearby town who is being unjustly persecuted. Your anonymity is assured. You have every reason to believe that no harm will come to your property. Are you morally obliged to allow them to use your property? Again, I'm going to say... You got yours?
Strongly.
I just said weekly.
Strongly, because I've been... If I don't go on this now... Yeah. And I'm a hypocrite because I've been preaching this whole time like we've got to start helping the people who are here. Oh, yeah. This person is here. It's a nearby town. It's like helping somebody from Jackson. Yeah. You got to help them.
I mean, like if I was in that situation, I probably would, but I don't think I'm morally responsible to do it. Like I don't know. I still have the choice. Said
obligated, not responsible.
Well, obligated, whatever. Same difference. But my thing is like, I don't think
tomato.
I don't think that it should be something like, oh, well, yeah, you should. I don't think it's really like that. I think it's like you have a clear-cut choice, and I don't think it's really bad if you decide not to, because, who's to say that welfare organization can't contact somebody else, and they might pick up that slack too.
Always putting it off on somebody else.
Sometimes,
that's always your response.
Even if you have a reasonable, thought that no harm is going to come to your property, there's still no guarantee.
This question. Are you ready?
Like, how do I know this dude was unjustly persecuted? Like, what if it's legit? What if I'm harboring a murderer or something?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You become aware that a piece of machinery in your workplace is faulty and that if it is not repaired, then there will soon be an accident, which will result in someone losing the use of their legs. Despite knowing that nobody else is aware of the fault, you take no action. Shortly afterwards, the accident occurs and somebody does lose the use of their legs. Are you morally responsible for their injury?
Well, yeah, because you knew about it.
Yeah, I think legally you're responsible too, right? Like, Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, probably. Hopefully. I just didn't want to intervene, I knew it was going to happen, but I kind of just wanted to sit back and watch
Todd
it.
Banging on it with a wrench. I knew that was going to mess it up, but I said, eh. And then Sam came in and...
Last question of this one. You can save the lives of a million innocent... Oh my God, here's another 10% question. You can save the lives of 1 million innocent people by killing 100,000 others. Are you morally obliged to do so? Sure, I guess I'm Hitler now. I guess I'll kill 100,000 people.
Hey, watch what you say there, friend. Don't insult me.
All right. Okay, now I gotta do, I'm male, my nationality, United States.
Why do you think any of this matters? What religion are you? What should I put?
I put none. All right.
I guess I'm not saying.
What's your score?
A 1. What does that mean? I got analysis 1.
No, it's right there in the box.
Oh.
35.
What did you get?
71.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Let's read what this is. It says, your moral parsimony score is 71% for me. It says, what does this mean? Moral frameworks can be more or less parsimonious. That is to say, they can employ a wide range of principles which vary in their application according to circumstances, less parsimonious. Or they can employ a small range of principles which apply across a wide range of circumstances without modification, more parsimonious. So you were
Hold
more...
on, no. Keep reading.
Yeah. An example might make this clear. Let's assume that we're committed to the principle that it is good to reduce suffering. The test of moral parsimony is to see whether this principle is applied simply and without modification or qualification in a number of different circumstances. Supposing, for example, we find in otherwise identical circumstances the principle is applied differently. That's basically what you did when you said numbers matter, and me, I was saying numbers don't matter, the principle matters. Mm-hmm. That's why my parsimony score is higher than yours.
Well, now, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's skip down to how to interpret your score.
Okay.
The higher your percentage score, the more parsimonious your moral framework. In other words, a high score is suggestive of a moral framework that comprises a minimal number of moral principles that apply across a range of circumstances and acts. What's a high score? As a rule of thumb, any score above 75% should be considered indicative of a parsimonious moral framework. However, perhaps a better way to think about this is to see how your score compares to other people's. In this respect, my score of 35% is significantly lower than the average score of 61%. This suggests that you have utilized a noticeably wider range of moral principles than average in order to make judgments about the scenarios presented in the test, and that you have tended to judge aspects of the act and circumstances depicted here to be morally relevant than other people consider to be morally irrelevant.
Yeah, the sentence kind of changes on mine. It says, in this respect, your score of 71% is slightly higher than the average score of 61. This suggests that you have utilized somewhat of a smaller range of moral principles than the average in order to make judgments about scenarios presented in this test, and that you have, at least on occasion, judged aspects of the acts and circumstances depicted here to be morally irrelevant that other people consider to be morally relevant.
So what do you think that means?
It says, moral parsimony, good or bad. We make no judgment about whether moral parsimony is a good or bad thing. Some people will think that on balance is a good thing, and that we should strive to minimize the number of moral principles that form our moral frameworks. Others will suspect that moral parsimony is likely to render moral frameworks simplistic, and that an overly parsimonious moral framework will leave us unable to deal with the complexity of real circumstances and acts. We'll leave it up to you to decide what is right.
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, and that's basically.
I feel like facts and circumstances really matter, whereas you don't.
Well, I wish that they were a little more in depth with some of the questions, but I noticed.
I feel bad that I only got a 35, though.
Well, that just means that you cast a wider net of like you're like looking into what a circumstance might be for a certain thing. My thing was, I was kind of employing like utilitarianism, like 10%.
Like a dictatorship. 10% is acceptable losses.
I mean, kind of. If that's the thing is like, I don't see it as a bad thing because by actively killing people, I am also actively saving the lives of a greater many people. You kill a killer. The number of killers in the world stays the same. If I kill 100,000 killers, though.
All right, the math checks out here.
99,999 people.
Less.
99,999 killers less. But no, it's, it's a little little out there, a little different.
That was interesting.
This actually lasted a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, we don't need a second one.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a second one. I think that was pretty good.
Because I do feel kind of weird about that. Like, it makes me wonder if I'm somehow morally deficient.
I don't think you're morally deficient. I just think that my moral compass is simpler than yours. Yours is more fine-tuned. Like, certain circumstances change what you would do in any given situation. Me, it's like, what is the... Like, boil this thing down and, like, simplify it. Does my moral compass say yes or no? It's either a yes or no. There's not much gray area in my kind of
I can understand that, I suppose.
Yeah. So, anyway, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of the JRAM and Billy Show.
We sure do.
Yeah, so we're just opening up the year 2020 with some moral heavy hitters, especially with all that's going on. You heard about World War III?
Yeah, I have. For once, Germany isn't the cause of it.
You think the Naruto runners will go to that?
I don't know, man. Look, I read a funny tweet from somebody who's actually in the military that said, relax, everybody. You're not going to get drafted. 90% of you are overweight and on drugs. We're not going to depend on you to defend this country.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When people got drafted, like back in World War II and stuff, you went to boot camp until you were physically fit and trained to serve. So, I mean... What do they think? They're only going to pick healthy people? No, that's not how it works.
No, they're gonna look at the college.
Does that guy look like he could shed about 50 pounds and then be good in about 6 months? We'll take him. That's how it'll be.
They're gonna look at the Call of Duty stats, and whoever's highest ranking in Call of Duty, that's who they'll take to war.
But no, I don't think that. I don't think that a draft is going to happen.
I'm only like
at
6
all.
years away from being safe.
What do you mean?
Well, you're only eligible for a draft from the ages of like 18 to like 30 something, 36, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 28.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm like 8 years away, and then they can't draft me. I'm too old.
You know something else? I've never been asked for jury duty.
I have.
Isn't that weird? Like Brittany, she got asked for jury duty.
I have, and I served that day, and I haven't had to serve since.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean... They didn't give us a number to call to check back in if we were needed.
Well, so. I know if you don't go to grand jury, then you are able to be called back into jury duty relatively soon compared to like if you got chosen for
jury,
I'm
not going to get chosen for a couple of years.
Then you won't get chosen again for a while. Yeah.
So, and let me tell you something.
What?
They tell you not to talk about the cases, so I won't. But man, some of them were real fucking heavy.
Really? Dude, well, as long as they're not ongoing, I think you can talk about them. Like, if they're already set and stuff, I think you can...
I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable talking about them. Just thinking about them really brings... Man, there's some real messed up stuff going on in Henderson County.
Lots of drugs. But either way, as always...
This is JRAM.
And this is Billy.
Have a good night.